Gentlemen, let's cut straight to the chase. Have you ever found yourself sitting across from a woman you deeply admire, feeling the magnetic pull of connection, yet unsure how to take that leap toward deeper intimacy? You're not alone. For countless men, the journey to intimacy feels like navigating an uncharted map. One wrong move, and you fear losing the spark. But what if I told you there's a way to approach this delicate subject that is not only effective but rooted in timeless principles of Stoicism? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Society has fed us lies about intimacy. They tell us it's all about grand gestures, expensive dates, or playing mind games. Wrong. These misconceptions do more harm than good. Real intimacy isn't won through manipulation or flashy tactics. It's built on a foundation of emotional strength, vulnerability, and mutual respect. But here's the kicker. Mastering this art doesn't require you to become someone you're not. Instead, it's about refining the best version of yourself. Imagine having the confidence to request intimacy in a way that feels authentic and empowering for both you and her. Today, I'm offering you a roadmap, an approach that intertwines psychological savvy with the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. By the time you finish this, you won't just understand how to request intimacy, you'll know how to cultivate a connection so compelling it transforms your relationships forever. Ready to dive in? Let's begin with the first powerful key to unlocking intimacy. 1. Embracing rejection with grace. Let's start where many of us fear the most. Rejection. Picture this. You've built up the courage, laid your feelings bare, and yet her response isn't what you hoped for. How do you react? Most men crumble under the weight of disappointment. But here's the truth. Rejection isn't the end of the road. It's a detour, a test of your resilience. Rejection, when framed through the lens of Stoicism, becomes not a defeat but an opportunity for growth. The Stoics teach us that external events, like her decision, are beyond our control. What lies within our power is our response. Will you let it shake your confidence, or will you stand firm, grounded in your self-worth? When faced with rejection, your immediate response should exude calm and composure. You might say, "I appreciate your honesty. I value our connection, and I'm glad we can communicate openly." This response is powerful for several reasons. First, it shows emotional maturity, a trait women find incredibly attractive. Second, it leaves no room for awkward tension. Instead, it communicates respect and understanding. But why is this so effective? Because it flips the script. Rejection no longer defines you. It becomes a reflection of her personal boundaries or readiness, not a critique of your worth. And here's the beautiful part. By handling rejection with grace, you actually deepen her respect for you. You're no longer just another guy seeking validation. You're a man who values authentic connection over fleeting affirmation. Now, let's address a critical question. How can rejection ever lead to attraction? When a woman sees you remain composed after rejection, it signals that you're not desperate. You're confident enough to respect her boundaries while maintaining your self-esteem. This emotional stability can make her reconsider her initial response. She begins to see you as a rare individual who understands the nuances of emotional connection. And here's a secret weapon. Rejection often sows the seeds of future intimacy. By accepting her boundaries now, you create a space where trust can grow. Trust is the cornerstone of deep intimacy, and nothing builds it faster than demonstrating respect during vulnerable moments. Finally, remember that rejection is not an end but a beginning. It teaches you patience, resilience, and emotional intelligence, all traits that prepare you for deeper connections. So, the next time you face rejection, embrace it as a Stoic would. With grace, composure, and an unwavering sense of self-worth. In the next section, we'll explore how balancing vulnerability with strength can revolutionize your approach to intimacy. Stay with me, and don't forget, your thoughts matter. If you've ever handled rejection like a pro or struggled with it, share your experiences in the comments below. Let's learn and grow together. 2. Balancing vulnerability with strength. Now that we've tackled the fear of rejection, let's move on to one of the most misunderstood yet powerful dynamics in relationships: balancing vulnerability with strength. How do you show a woman your authentic self without coming across as needy or overbearing? The answer lies in mastering the art of vulnerability, a trait often dismissed as weakness but, when coupled with strength, becomes irresistibly magnetic. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you expressed your true feelings without hesitation? For many men, vulnerability feels like stepping into a battlefield unarmed. But here's the truth. Vulnerability, when wielded correctly, is not a weakness, it's your superpower. It's about showing her who you are while maintaining control over your emotions and actions. Consider this scenario. You're sitting with her, the conversation flows effortlessly, and you feel the time is right to deepen your connection. How do you proceed? Do you stay silent, hoping she'll read your mind? Or do you muster the courage to speak your truth? Here's a phrase you could use. I've really enjoyed the time we've spent together, and I feel a strong connection with you. I'd like to take things to a more intimate level because I believe it could deepen our relationship. This statement does three things. First, it's direct and clear. There's no ambiguity, no second-guessing your intentions. Second, it's respectful. You're not imposing or demanding, you're inviting her to consider the next step. Third, and most importantly, it's grounded in confidence. You're expressing what you feel, not as a plea for validation, but as a natural progression of your connection. Why does this work so well? Because it taps into a universal psychological need, the desire for connection. Vulnerability signals openness, a willingness to let someone into your world. But, and this is crucial, it's the balance with strength that makes this dynamic so effective. Strength shows her that you're not seeking intimacy from a place of insecurity, but from a place of genuine self-assurance. You want her, but you don't need her to validate your worth. Think about the most compelling men in history. They weren't just stoic warriors, they were also deeply introspective, capable of expressing vulnerability without losing their composure. This duality of openness and emotional stability creates a sense of safety and trust, making intimacy not just possible but desirable. Here's another key insight. Women are incredibly intuitive. They can sense when vulnerability is authentic and when it's a facade. If you're pretending to be open while masking insecurity, she'll see right through it. But when your vulnerability stems from genuine confidence, it creates a magnetic pull. You're not afraid to show her your true self, and that courage is profoundly attractive. Now, let's talk about timing. When you express your desire for intimacy, the context and delivery matter. Avoid rushing into this conversation. Build emotional rapport first. Create moments of shared laughter, meaningful dialogue, and mutual understanding. These interactions lay the groundwork for deeper connections. And don't underestimate the power of body language. Your words carry weight, but your posture, eye contact, and tone amplify their impact. Maintain open body language, face her directly, keep your posture relaxed, and hold her gaze. These nonverbal cues reinforce your verbal message, showing that you're fully present and confident in your expression. At this point, you might be wondering, what if she hesitates? Here's where your strength shines. Acknowledge her feelings without pushing. You could say, I understand if you're not ready. I want you to feel comfortable and know that this is something I'm open to exploring whenever it feels right for you. This response achieves two things. It validates her emotions, showing her that you respect her boundaries. Simultaneously, it reinforces your confidence, reminding her that your self-worth isn't tied to her immediate agreement. You're patient, self-assured, and willing to let the connection evolve naturally. Before we move on, let's pause for a quick interaction. Have you ever struggled to find the right words to express your feelings? Or maybe you've nailed this balance before. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. And if you're finding this guide helpful, give it a like. Your feedback helps shape our journey together. Next, we'll explore the art of patience and why letting her set the pace can be one of your most powerful tools in building intimacy. Stay tuned. 3. Practicing patience and letting her set the pace. Patience is a virtue, a saying we've all heard but rarely put into practice, especially in the realm of intimacy. In today's fast-paced world, waiting often feels like losing. But what if I told you that patience, when rooted in the philosophy of Stoicism, can be one of your greatest assets in building intimacy? Let's dive into why letting her set the pace is not just respectful but profoundly attractive. Imagine this. You've expressed your feelings and your desire to deepen the connection. The ball is now in her court. What happens next? Many men feel the urge to fill the silence, to push for an immediate response. But here's the reality. This is where most of the magic happens. In that moment of silence, she's reflecting, considering, and feeling her way through the possibilities. Your role? Stay present, stay engaged, but don't rush her decision. Think of patience not as passive waiting but as active engagement. You're showing her that you're fully invested in the process, valuing her comfort and boundaries above all else. Why is this approach so powerful? Because it shifts the dynamic. You're not trying to control or rush the outcome. Instead, you're demonstrating emotional maturity and respect. This creates a safe space where she feels free to explore her feelings without pressure. And let me tell you, women can sense this. When a man is patient, it signals that he's not driven by mere physical desires but by a deeper connection rooted in mutual respect. Here's an actionable tip. When you've expressed your feelings and she needs time, use this period to focus on building the emotional foundation. Engage in meaningful conversations, share experiences, and cultivate a sense of trust. Let your actions speak louder than words. But patience isn't just about waiting. It's about being attentive to her cues. Maybe she leans in closer during conversations, or perhaps her laughter comes more easily when you're around. These subtle signs often indicate growing comfort and connection. Recognize them, but don't rush to capitalize on them. Instead, acknowledge her signals internally and continue to foster the bond naturally. And what about the discomfort that comes with waiting? Let's be honest, waiting can be nerve-wracking. But here's where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics teach us to embrace discomfort as a natural part of life. Use this time to reflect on your own emotions. Why are you feeling anxious? What expectations are driving your impatience? By understanding and mastering your internal state, you not only grow as an individual, but also become more appealing to her. Finally, when she's ready to respond, listen carefully. Whether her answer aligns with your hopes or not, your reaction should remain composed and understanding. If she's on the same page, celebrate the mutual connection. If not, appreciate her honesty and continue to build the relationship at her comfort level. Patience, gentlemen, is not just a waiting game. It's a demonstration of respect, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery. The more you embody these traits, the more attractive you become, not just to her, but to anyone seeking genuine connection. 4. Exercising self-control over desires. Now, let's talk about control, not over her, but over yourself. When it comes to intimacy, the greatest battle you'll ever fight is within. Self-control, a cornerstone of Stoicism, is the ability to manage your desires, ensuring they don't cloud your judgment or actions. In this section, we'll explore why mastering your impulses is key to requesting intimacy with grace and confidence. Here's a question. How often do you find yourself driven by immediate desires? The pull of passion is powerful, and without control, it can lead to impatience, frustration, or even actions that jeopardize the connection you've worked so hard to build. But self-control is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Let's break it down. Self-control doesn't mean suppressing your desires or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them and choosing not to be ruled by them. This level of discipline is rare, and, when demonstrated, speaks volumes about your character. Women find this incredibly attractive because it shows emotional stability and maturity. Picture this. You're spending time with her, and the chemistry is undeniable. The moment feels right, and your instincts urge you to act. But instead of rushing forward, you pause. You savor the connection without letting your desires dictate your actions. This restraint sends a powerful message. It tells her that you're in control of yourself, that you value her comfort and the bond you're building more than immediate gratification. Why is this so effective? Because it creates an environment of trust. When a woman senses that a man is in control of his desires, she feels safer, more respected, and more inclined to explore intimacy at her own pace. This builds anticipation and heightens the emotional connection, making the eventual intimacy far more meaningful and fulfilling. But self-control isn't just about restraint, it's about consistency. It's easy to maintain composure in moments of calm, but what about when emotions run high? Maybe she's sending mixed signals, or perhaps the progression of your relationship feels slower than expected. In these moments, your ability to stay composed and patient is crucial. Remember, intimacy is not a race, it's a journey. Here's a practical exercise to enhance your self-control. Whenever you feel the pull of impatience or desire, take a deep breath and focus on the bigger picture. Remind yourself of the connection you're building and the respect you hold for her boundaries. This simple act of mindfulness can prevent impulsive actions and reinforce your commitment to a deeper, more meaningful relationship. And let's not forget, self-control also involves handling setbacks with grace. If she's not ready to take things to the next level, how you respond matters. Accept her decision with understanding and continue to nurture the connection. Your ability to stay composed, even in the face of disappointment, will only enhance her respect and admiration for you. So, gentlemen, let me ask you, how will you demonstrate self-control in your journey toward intimacy? Will you let your desires lead the way, or will you rise above, guided by patience and respect? The choice is yours, and the rewards of mastering this skill are immeasurable. If this resonates, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're enjoying this journey through the principles of intimacy and Stoicism, don't forget to like and share your experiences below. Next, we'll delve into the power of delayed gratification and how it can transform your approach to intimacy. Stay tuned. 5. Building anticipation through delayed gratification. Gentlemen, let's talk about one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools in your arsenal: anticipation. In a world where instant gratification rules, the ability to embrace delayed gratification is a game changer. It's about resisting the urge for immediate rewards in favor of something far more profound and lasting. This principle, deeply rooted in Stoicism, can transform your approach to intimacy. Have you ever felt that rush of excitement leading up to a big event? The moments before a trip, a promotion, or even a first kiss are often more thrilling than the event itself. That's the magic of anticipation. When it comes to intimacy, building anticipation heightens the emotional connection, making the eventual experience more meaningful and satisfying for both of you. So how do you cultivate this sense of anticipation? Start by focusing on creating memorable, emotionally charged experiences together. Plan activities that strengthen your bond. Take a long walk in nature, share your favorite childhood stories, or engage in a hobby you both enjoy. These shared moments deepen your connection and lay the groundwork for intimacy. Physical touch plays a subtle but crucial role here. Simple gestures like holding her hand, a light touch on her arm during conversation, or a warm hug when you greet her can all build anticipation. These moments of physical closeness signal your interest without rushing into deeper intimacy. Over time, these small actions accumulate, creating a natural progression toward a more intimate connection. But delayed gratification isn't just about what you do, it's also about what you don't do. Resisting the temptation to rush the process shows incredible self-control and respect for her comfort level. It's not about playing hard to get or creating artificial barriers. Instead, it's about showing that you're in no hurry because you value the journey as much as the destination. Here's a thought. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. By taking the time to build anticipation, you're telling her that you're not just interested in her body, you're invested in her mind and soul. This approach creates a sense of safety and trust, making her more comfortable and open to deeper levels of connection. Delayed gratification also amplifies desire. Think about it. When you wait for something, the anticipation makes the experience more rewarding. The same principle applies to intimacy. By taking your time, you're building tension and excitement, which makes the eventual intimacy far more impactful. But what happens when the wait feels too long? How do you manage your own impatience while still building anticipation? This is where the philosophy of Stoicism shines. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our actions and mindset. Use this time to reflect on the emotional connection you're building. Recognize the value of patience and how it strengthens your bond. And remember, anticipation isn't about creating pressure or expectations. It's about fostering a natural, mutual desire that grows over time. When the moment finally arrives, it won't feel forced or calculated. Instead, it will be a culmination of the trust and connection you've built together. So, gentlemen, how will you embrace the power of delayed gratification? Will you savor the journey and let anticipation enhance your connection? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found value in this discussion, give it a like. Your feedback fuels our journey together. Now, let's move on to another critical aspect of intimacy: communicating value and mutual growth. 6. Communicating value and mutual growth. When it comes to intimacy, one of the most transformative mindsets you can adopt is seeing it as a shared journey toward mutual growth. It's not about fulfilling your desires or even hers. It's about creating an experience that enriches both of your lives. This perspective shifts the focus from personal gratification to a deeper, more meaningful connection. Let's start with a simple but profound question. How do you communicate value in a relationship? Many men struggle to articulate what they bring to the table beyond surface-level traits. But true value lies in your ability to contribute to her personal growth, while also being open to how she can enrich your life. When you approach intimacy from this angle, it becomes a partnership, a mutual exploration of emotional, physical, and even spiritual connection. You're not just seeking closeness, you're offering it as a gift that benefits both of you. Here's a way to express this. I believe that becoming closer could bring us more happiness and understanding. It's not just about physical intimacy, it's about growing together emotionally and supporting each other's journeys. This kind of statement is powerful because it reframes intimacy as a collaborative effort. You're not asking for something, you're inviting her to join you in building something beautiful and lasting. Why does this work? Because it aligns with one of the deepest human desires: the need for growth and connection. When a woman sees that you value her as a whole person and not just as a romantic or physical partner, it deepens her trust and attraction. She begins to see intimacy as a natural extension of your shared journey, not as a goal or an obligation. But how do you demonstrate this in your actions? Start by showing genuine interest in her passions, dreams, and challenges. Celebrate her achievements, no matter how small, and offer support when she faces obstacles. These gestures show that you're invested in her growth and well-being, reinforcing the idea that intimacy with you is about more than just fleeting moments. It's about long-term fulfillment. At the same time, don't be afraid to share your own journey. Talk about your goals, the lessons you've learned, and the areas where you're still growing. This vulnerability invites her to see you as a partner in personal development, someone who values growth as much as she does. Another critical element of communicating value is showing consistency. Words are important, but actions speak louder. If you tell her you value mutual growth, make sure your behavior reflects that. Be dependable, supportive, and present in your interactions. Over time, this consistency builds trust and reinforces the idea that intimacy with you is part of a larger, more meaningful connection. Finally, remember that mutual growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process that requires patience, effort, and a willingness to learn from each other. Embrace this journey with an open heart and a curious mind, and you'll find that intimacy becomes a natural, enriching part of your relationship. So, how will you communicate value in your relationships? How will you show her that intimacy is about more than just physical closeness? It's about growing together in every aspect of life. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to like and share. Let's keep the conversation going. Next, we'll dive into the art of reading her emotional cues and responding thoughtfully. Stay tuned. 7. Leveraging emotional intelligence. Reading her cues and responding thoughtfully. Intimacy is not merely about physical closeness. It's an intricate dance of emotions, timing, and unspoken communication. Here's the truth. Being able to read her emotional cues and respond thoughtfully is a skill that sets you apart from the rest. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. It's about understanding her feelings, even when they're not explicitly stated, and responding in a way that deepens the connection. Now, let's ask a fundamental question. How well do you really understand her? When you're with her, are you fully present, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Emotional intelligence starts with keen observation. Women communicate a wealth of information through their body language, tone of voice, and subtle expressions. The real question is, are you paying attention? For instance, notice her posture during your conversations. Is she leaning in, signaling interest and comfort, or does she seem more reserved, keeping a bit of distance? Pay attention to her tone. Does it soften when she's feeling vulnerable, or does it carry a hint of tension when something is on her mind? These cues are your roadmap, guiding you through her emotional landscape. But observation is only the first step. The true magic of emotional intelligence lies in how you respond. Let's say you've noticed she seems quieter than usual. Instead of jumping to conclusions, approach her with empathy and curiosity. You might say, "I've noticed you're a bit quiet today. How are you feeling about what we're discussing?" This kind of response does two things. First, it shows her that you're not just focused on your own desires, you genuinely care about her emotional state. Second, it opens the door for her to express herself freely, reinforcing the trust between you. When a woman feels that her emotions are seen and valued, it creates a profound sense of safety, which is crucial for intimacy. Here's another critical point. Emotional intelligence isn't just about understanding her, it's also about managing your own emotions. Picture this scenario. You've expressed your desire for intimacy, and she hesitates. Your initial reaction might be frustration or disappointment, but instead of letting those emotions control your response, take a step back. Acknowledge your feelings internally, but remain calm and composed externally. Why is this important? Because your ability to handle emotionally charged situations with grace shows her that you're not just a reactive partner, you're someone who can navigate the complexities of a relationship with maturity. This is a rare and deeply attractive quality. Emotional intelligence also involves validating her feelings. If she shares her hesitations or concerns, resist the urge to solve the problem immediately. Sometimes she's not looking for a solution, she just wants to be heard. A simple, "I understand why you'd feel that way," can go a long way in making her feel supported and understood. Remember, women value a partner who is emotionally attuned and responsive. Your willingness to tune into her emotional cues and adapt your approach accordingly sets the stage for deeper, more meaningful intimacy. This is not about playing a role or following a script. It's about genuine connection. So how can you start honing your emotional intelligence? Practice active listening. When she speaks, Focus entirely on her words, tone, and expressions. Reflect on what you've heard before responding. Over time, this practice will sharpen your ability to read and respond to her cues naturally. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how powerful a moment of deep emotional understanding can be? Those instances when you feel truly seen and heard. That's what you're offering her when you approach intimacy with emotional intelligence. If this insight resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever misread a situation, or perhaps nailed it by responding with empathy and care? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you're finding value in this journey, give this a like, and let's keep the conversation going. Next, we'll explore the subtle art of suggestion, how to plant the seed of intimacy in her mind in a way that feels organic and mutual. 8. The subtle art of suggestion, planting the seed of intimacy. There's an old saying, the most powerful ideas are the ones we believe we discovered ourselves. When it comes to intimacy, this couldn't be more true. The art of suggestion is a delicate, yet highly effective way to invite her to explore deeper intimacy without ever making her feel pressured. This technique, when done right, fosters a sense of mutual desire and ownership over the next step in your relationship. Imagine this. Instead of directly asking for intimacy, you plant a subtle idea that allows her to consider it on her own terms. Why is this approach so effective? Because it respects her autonomy and taps into her natural curiosity. When you guide rather than demand, you create an environment where intimacy feels like a shared, organic progression. Let's break this down with an example. You could say something like, I feel like every time we're together, we grow closer in such a natural way. It makes me think about how amazing it would feel to explore that connection even more deeply. Notice what's happening here. You're not asking for anything directly. Instead, you're sharing your feelings and subtly inviting her to imagine the possibilities. This kind of statement plants the seed of intimacy in her mind, allowing her to envision what it could feel like without feeling like she's being cornered into a decision. The key here is subtlety. You're suggesting, not insisting. This leaves room for her to process and consider the idea at her own pace. And when a woman feels like she's actively choosing intimacy rather than being led to it, the experience becomes infinitely more meaningful. But the art of suggestion doesn't stop at words. It's also about your actions. Gradually increase physical closeness in ways that feel natural. Hold her hand, touch her back lightly as you guide her through a doorway, or simply sit closer during conversations. These small gestures help build a sense of comfort and anticipation, laying the groundwork for deeper connection. At the same time, be attuned to her responses. If she seems receptive, continue to nurture the connection. If she hesitates or pulls back, respect her pace and give her the space she needs. The beauty of this approach is that it's inherently adaptable. You're not forcing anything, you're simply creating opportunities for intimacy to blossom naturally. Another important aspect of suggestion is setting the right emotional tone. Intimacy isn't just about what you say or do, it's about how you make her feel. By maintaining a calm, confident demeanor, you signal that you're open to deeper connection but not reliant on it for your self-worth. This balance of desire and detachment is incredibly attractive, as it shows that you're secure in yourself and genuinely interested in her well-being. Here's a final thought. The art of suggestion isn't about manipulation, it's about collaboration. You're inviting her to explore intimacy in a way that feels right for both of you. This mutual exploration creates a sense of partnership, making the experience richer and more rewarding. So how will you use the power of suggestion to deepen your connection? Have you ever planted a seed of intimacy that grew naturally over time? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you found these insights valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that helps you master the art of connection. Next, we'll wrap up with a powerful conclusion that ties everything together, leaving you equipped to approach intimacy with confidence and grace. Stay tuned. Gentlemen, You've now journeyed through the nuanced and profound world of intimacy through the lens of Stoicism. From embracing vulnerability and exercising patience to mastering self-control and reading emotional cues, you've learned that intimacy is far more than a physical connection. It's an intricate dance of respect, emotional intelligence, and mutual growth. But as we bring this exploration to a close, let's tie everything together with a simple yet powerful truth. Intimacy is a shared journey, not a destination. It's about fostering a connection where both you and she feel valued, respected, and understood. When you approach intimacy with this mindset, you transform what could be a fleeting moment into a lasting bond. Now that you're equipped with these powerful tools, it's time to apply them. Start by reflecting on your past experiences. Which of these principles have you already used, and where can you improve? Take small steps, whether it's practicing patience, honing your emotional intelligence, or mastering the art of suggestion. And here's where I need you, gentlemen. Let's continue this journey together. Share your experiences, your wins, and even your struggles in the comments below. Have you tried these techniques? How did they work for you? Let's create a space where we can learn and grow as a community. If this guide has been valuable to you, hit that like button and let me know. Your feedback fuels more content like this. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more insights into mastering the psychological and philosophical aspects of relationships. Finally, share this with someone who could benefit from this wisdom. Together, we can help more men navigate the path to meaningful connections with confidence and integrity. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and continue striving to be the best version of yourself.